am I the asshole for laughing in my sister-in-law's face when she DNA tested my daughter?
Nah.
No.
Your sister-in-law probably deserves that.
You should beat her ass for DNA testing your daughter.
Crazy
Violence
thing to
is
do.
the answer, people.
Yeah, what the do you think you're doing with my child's DNA? You fucking weirdo. How did you get this?
Yeah. Pause on the violence because there is a trigger warning for this one.
Oh, no.
I should have said it at the top. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going with the violent route on this one.
I
But
always
It's John.
do, sorry.
Yeah,
It's me.
what do you mean?
trigger warning for a shooting. Wildly enough, from the title. Yes. So
Holy shit.
crazy trigger warning. But if that's something you do not want to hear, because I can tell that's probably a reality for many people in our
reality in Texas all the
demographic.
time. Jeez.
Yeah. You can skip ahead to the final story unless you're a patron, which we have 2 more after that as well. And a game at the end of this. I forgot to mention that.
A game.
Yeah. All right. So I, 30 male, have a daughter who's 6. I am not biologically related to her at all. There is no blood relationship between us. So crazy to do a DNA test already.
They already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was friends with her mother for most of my childhood. We were never involved romantically, and we were always just friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her 25-year-old husband. When my daughter was a newborn, about 3 months technically, both her mother and father were killed. I won't go into too much detail for privacy reasons, but it was a workplace shooting. My friend and her husband had been working in the same building, and they were both killed. Both my friend and her husband had grown up with less than ideal families and didn't have any siblings, so there wasn't any next of kin for their daughter to go to. However, because I was close with them, I was able to adopt her. Even though I had been iffy about the idea of kids, I didn't want their daughter to grow up in a foster care or around people who didn't have a connection to her bio parents, so I stepped in.
Damn, what a great person.
Yeah.
Literally nothing you can do will make me
Will
think you're the
change
asshole
your
at this
mind.
point.
Yeah.
My parents and siblings know that my daughter is not my actual daughter, biologically speaking.
Mhm.
My daughter, I'll call her Lily for this post, also knows that she is adopted. I've never really hid that fact that she is adopted. She knows that her parents are dead and they were killed by a bad man, but I'm saving the details for when she's older. Lily does not look like me at all. She looks exactly like her mother and biological father. Most people that assume that I'm her bio dad and she just took after her mom. I don't ever really correct this when and if people assume this because it just seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée for about 2 years now. A few weeks ago, we were all meeting up at my parents' house, and my sister-in-law saw an old picture of me, my friend, and her husband. She pointed to my friend and asked who she was, and I explained that it was Lily's mother. My sister-in-law got quiet and stood in front of the picture for a while. I didn't think too much of it. To clarify, she knows my friend died, but I guess she didn't know that she had been married or that Lily is not my bio daughter. I suppose she assumed my daughter was mine and my friend's biological daughter. My sister-in-law got a DNA test done on my daughter behind my back.
Oh.
She used my brother's DNA for the test. When it came back that they aren't related, she knew that that meant Lily and I weren't related. She came up to me with the results and waved them in my face, saying that I was taking care of a dead woman's affair baby. She said this to me in front of my daughter, by the way. I just stared at her.
If your brother don't dump her ass on the spot, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
I just stared at her for a while before bursting out laughing. I told her I knew Lily wasn't my biological daughter and that this thing called adoption exists. Her face went red and she stormed off. My brother is mad that I embarrassed his fiancée, but I said she embarrassed herself by DNA testing a kid that isn't hers and then parading the results up to me. What did she want me to do? What was her goal with this?
You could have stopped her, I assume.
At any point,
I assume you
probably.
knew about this.
Yeah.
Your fiance was doing something stupid, something that you knew the truth. So I don't even know why you entertained that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
your fault, brother.
Did she want me to break down and abandon my daughter? My brother said she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an asshole. I don't feel like the asshole, especially considering my sister-in-law was the one who stuck her nose where it didn't belong.
Yup.
Mhm.
I'm asking Reddit for opinion, mostly just validation. So am I the asshole?
No, you're gonna get all the validation you want, brother. No,
Yeah, no.
no.
You deserve all the
Sean already said it.
validation.
There is nothing that you could have done in any scenario that unless you do something heinous to this kid.
Yeah,
but
of
no,
course.
nothing
You
you
are-
could have done
Yeah.
in this scenario would make or paint you as a bad person. You took someone who experienced a really traumatic experience, like, losing both parents. That's got to be difficult, and
Mhm.
possibly knowing how wrong the foster system is. I don't know if it's in the States or everywhere else in the world. You took someone under your wing when you didn't have to. You had no responsibilities, and you didn't have to do any of that, but you still did. You raised them as a daughter of your own. You acknowledge them as like, hey, yes, you are not blood related, but you treat her like your blood.
Mhm.
And the rest of your family knows that already. And for the sister-in-law to for what? For her to just get a say like, haha, like I proved the point that she's not
Yeah.
your daughter. Everyone already knows it. And yes, I agree with Sean. And I think the brother was already in on it from the beginning. So I think you also got to cut ties with your brother because he's going to marry into some bitchy ass family. So I got to say, fuck those two.
The fact that she didn't even do it like
Discreetly.
gracefully and
Yeah.
discreetly,
No.
like in front of your daughter, waving it, being like,
Yes.
a fair partner's baby. Like her mom passed away already, and you're just gonna try and put more trauma on that. Like, how big of a piece of shit are you that you feel no remorse on that? It is crazy to me. So it's just, and then the brother, like John said, cut ties. I mean, there's no fucking way because he knew. Why didn't he stop the wife? He could have stopped her from being embarrassed. Unless she did this completely behind his back, and then he should even be like, first off, how'd you get my DNA? Second off, why did you take the DNA from a child? That's
weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird. This is all weird. Like, to just fucking back her up on that is a strange thing. I don't see any scenario where everybody else in the family is like,
yeah, what
that's
are you doing?
normal.
Yeah,
That's
we're
not
cool
normal.
with this.
That's weird as fuck.
Yeah. The lack of consent, empathy, and everything else in this scenario is sickening on the girlfriend's or on the fiance's part.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said, and so did Reddit. And then came the update.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So my sister-in-law ended up coming to my house and apologizing, as well as telling me the full story. My brother had put her up to the DNA test.
Why?
Yeah. The plot thickens. When I first adopted Lily, my brother for some reason believed that Lily was my bio daughter. He thought that me and Lily's mom were together and just weren't telling anyone. He believes that when she got pregnant, Lily's mom told me that Lily was mine and that she was just going to say that it was that was her husband's, and I just went along with it because I didn't really want kids. Sister-in-law was under the impression I believed I was Lily's bio dad. She saw the pictures of Lily's mom and I, and after asking for clarification on who she was, assumed we were together in it, and then got suspicious when she saw that the other guy in the picture, Lily's actual bio dad, looked a lot like Lily. I also want to clarify, I didn't tell her that Lily's bio dad was in the picture because she had specifically pointed to Lily's mom, and I assumed that she knew that Lily was adopted. I didn't know my brother had been telling her lies for nearly 2 years. She got the DNA test out of her own suspicion, and my brother helped her with it because he thought it would reveal that I was actually Lily's bio dad. He manipulated her into thinking that it would clear the air of suspicion, when really he was just trying to prove that I was really Lily's bio dad and lying about the reasons for adoption.
Why? Why would you do that?
What? Yeah. What? Why the fuck does it matter? It's not your life.
Because I think the brother can only fathom that OP would take care of someone else's kid
if it was
his own. He doesn't have the concept of selflessness that OP has.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But it's wild to, after getting the test results, confirming your brother's story, to be like, not tell your fiance, not tell your fiance, hey, you know what? I think you might be right. Like,
well, yeah, she might have gone rogue on that part. Maybe, I don't know. Because she's probably like, we got to tell him, like, this is not his kid. And so, like, I don't know. Truly, they're both still in the wrong.
I was going to say, The brother is, of course, the top of the food chain
master.
in terms of like obviously she got manipulated, but she also went rogue in this scenario. She didn't have to do all that extra shit. So
in front of the kid is
in front of the kid. So I have no sympathy for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here's the next sentence. My brother felt too embarrassed to confess to his fiance that he had lied about the circumstances, which is why my sister-in-law confronted me with the results. So there you go. He was just being
I still don't give a shit. I still don't give a shit about that scenario. You don't do that. If you're gonna do something like that, you do it tactfully, right? You do it like, hey, can I pull you to the side? But she did it in front of the kid.
Yes.
Fuck
but
that.
I'm saying the reason she did it at all was because the brother was a coward and didn't tell her the truth.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I agree. I agree that he's the biggest bitch out of all this, but she is just as a bitch in this scenario.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law also apologized for showing me results in front of my daughter. She told me that her mom had an affair and cheated on her father, got pregnant with another man's kid, and had let her father believe the kid was his.
Okay, but you don't freaking do that in front of a kid though. That's your own fucking trauma you got to deal with.
Exactly. Her father was devastated by this when he found out, and she grew very resentful of women who do this to their spouses. She had wanted to sit me down and talk to me about it without my daughter. But when she saw me with my daughter, she got angry, thinking I was being led on to believe I was raising my daughter when I was actually raising another man's kid. And she ended up exploding and immediately waved the results in my face. Still fucked up.
No.
Still.
Not a good excuse.
No, because the kid's innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way. You know what I mean?
Kid went through so much already.
Yeah. My sister-in-law does feel very guilty, and she's angry at my brother for lying to her. I'm not angry at her for doing the test because she thought she was doing the right thing. I also forgave her for the way she told me about the results because clearly affairs are a sensitive subject for her, and I can understand why she would have exploded like that. I'm pretty sure she plans to break up with my brother now, and I don't blame her.
Good.
You are a generous person.
Saint.
Holy shit.
Yeah. For real.
When I called and asked my brother about this, he admitted it. When I asked why he would think this, he said that he couldn't think of a reason why a man who had been against having kids at the time would willingly adopt a baby without having a blood connection to it. He told my sister-in-law that I was Lily's bio dad and was aware of the fact. He took a step further and said that me and Lily's mom were together at the time of Lily's conception. Both me and my parents are going low contact with my brother for a while now.
Good.
I know I will forgive my brother eventually. I wouldn't.
I'm going to need you to change that low to no, please.
Yeah. But I can't do that right now. He believed I was low enough to have an affair with a married woman to get her pregnant, take no responsibility, allow her to pass off the kid as another man's, and then only take responsibility because her mom died. And that is the update to that one.
Let your brother lose it all. Oh my God.
Yeah. That's such an insane thing to think about your own brother. And
man, he failed so many relationships.
Yeah. And to lie to your partner for 2 years about your brother's kid, that's just so fucked up. Like, who does that?
And the thing that
I guess
pisses
he
me
thought
off too
he was
is
telling
like,
the truth, though.
Cares?
Yeah,
he's
who
not
cares?
the one that's having to take care of the kid. It's the brother's responsibility, and he had nothing to do with it. Why is he going to meddle with that life?
Exactly. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh my God, what an idiot.
Get therapy.